ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
This complaint I have to say is the wobbly bits. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Transformers action figure review on the Transformers The Last Night Movies Premiere Edition Pacifica. If you're trying to pick up your Transformers figures, you can get it.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
My love for you is like a truck bazooka. Okay, I may be like really old guy here with my old reference, but I love Kevin Smith movies. Anyway, nice image of Berserker right over there on the side. I like how it wraps around. Then you get a Decepticon symbol with the glowing eyes at the top. And then on the back, you can see both modes. And then there's Bumblebee, and then there's Barricade. And then on the side, you can see Berserker again. And then on the top, you can see more Decepticreeps. Alright, let's get to it and crack this thing open. My love for you's like clicking talk Berserker. Okay, I'm sorry. I've done it too many times. I promise I'll stop. I'm sorry. Anyway, this figure, I do like it. I'm a bigger fan of the robot mode, more so than the alt mode. This is pretty cool looking though. I do like how it looks, and I think we get a fair amount of paint on it. As you can see, we get tail lights, and we have these emergency lights right over here at the top. So it's looking pretty good. We get a nice little touch of gold paint. It's a very floppy figure in alt mode. It's just tricky getting all the little tabs in there, and it's a bit shell for me, so I'm not the biggest fan of the alt mode, but I definitely do like the robot mode more. Anyway, let's take a closer look. So I know it's a deluxe class figure, and it is pretty small. You're looking at about less than 5 inches across for this guy, so it is a fairly small figure. And just comparing it to the Bumblebee from the same wave, you can see how much or how they're just about the same size. I mean, they're both deluxe class figures, so they're going to be about the same size. Looks like Bumblebee actually might be just a tad longer than Berserker over there, which is ridiculous for an SUV. And from what I've heard, this is actually Crankcase, or Crankcase was in Dark of the Moon, and then they gave us this figure instead of the Crankcase. I'm not 100% sure, so inform me of that in the comments below. Not a really bad looking SUV. I do wish that they had used solid black plastic right here for this hinge piece. I don't know why that has to be gray. I've seen him in robot mode. It doesn't have to be gray. Or maybe some silver paint right here on the wheels or on the hubcaps anyway would have been nice. And he rolls okay. He kind of stops after a little bit. I just think it's the weapons underneath that are stopping it. See, it kind of doesn't really want to go all the way. I mean, it rolls enough, but I just feel like the weapons at the bottom over here are just kind of holding things back a little bit, you know? So he has these two weapons, and like I said, this figure is really delicate for the alt mode. Like, just smushing these in here cause things to get untabbed and have to retab stuff, and it's just a little on the frustrating side. But you don't have to have them stored at the very bottom like that. You can put them on the sides like so. And as I do this, I'm afraid things are going to get untabbed. So I'm kind of trying to be careful here, and it's tricky getting those ported in there. It doesn't fit in as nicely as I'd like them to. It's a little hard, tricky, but they'll stay there. Let's see if I shake it around. Yeah, alright. Hey, he's going Berserker. Berserker's going Berserker. But that does stay on there pretty well. I mean, yeah, good job, Berserker. So that's pretty cool. I like these kind of weapons. It's pretty neat. And it was picking off Autobots. See here, as I mentioned earlier, when of course I got something untabbed in the very back right there. So the tabs on this guy are pretty tricky. You have to just be very careful that you have everything tabbed in properly, because it's a fairly floppy figure. Anyway, let's take these out right over here and get to the transformation. Will you take us away, Bumblebee? Yeah, right. So I'm going to detach these panels right over here in the very back, and then this piece is going to lift up in the front, and I'm going to swing that down. And then I'm going to go back to the sides right here and move these legs out of the way. Sorry, just got a D-tab right there. So there's little tabs here that are very important, like this tab right here. It goes into that port right there. Same thing on the other side, so you want to make sure that's securely in there. And same thing with these panels right over here. Then I'm going to take this piece and fold it in and do the same thing to to the other side right there. Take that, and this also tabs in right in there, so you have to really make sure that's tabbed in securely before you move the legs in. You don't want to try to tab that in later on. Then you want to rotate the legs forward, then bend the knee, and then you get a heel right there, and then bend that forward, you get a heel right over there. And then take the legs and do a 180 on each thigh, so that'll rotate around. And then you get this big shell piece right here, and I'm trying to fold this up like so, and then smoosh this down, and then fold that in, and then move that up there, and then this will collapse in. I actually want to have this folded in on itself right here. Then you just want to hinge this whole thing, and then that's going to collapse together like that. Anyway, that's the way I like to do it. And then take this piece and then move this up and hinge this like so. So I had it done the other way around last time, but yeah, this seems to work okay. I did pop the head off of Berserker. Sorry, Berserker. Very sloppy. Very, very sloppy of me. Anyway, these separate, and I wish there was some kind of tabbing with the arms right there. Damn it, Berserker. Keep your head on. Come on. I know you're crazy, but come on. There we go. All right. And then we're going to rotate the arms and swing them downward. Then take the hand, swing that out. Then fold this in. Take this hand, fold that out. Swing this in. Then he has these little spikes right there on the shoulders, and I'm going to swing those outward. I have to move that out of the way, and then bring the head back up to where it was, and that is pretty much it. So here's Berserker completed in his robot mode, and look at this cool robot mode. It looks so good, man. I really dig it a lot. Now I may have this flap positioned incorrectly, so just note that. And there are a couple of tabs that go into the very back over here, which I didn't show off earlier, but man, very cool looking robot mode. I really like the articulation. I mean, there's some points of articulation that I wish it did have, but for the most part, I do like posing the figure around. I just really like how it looks aesthetically wise. I just like the design for this guy. Again, this is a little bit shell-formy, backpacky right there, but it does collapse nicely, so I'm not really bothered by that so much. I want to take a closer look at these weapons first, which I think are pretty cool. These are like barbed harpoons or something. I don't know, but I think they look pretty awesome. I like all these little spikes over here. Nothing's too sharp or anything. The material is fairly pliable. I mean, you don't want to try to really snap things apart or anything like that, but looks pretty durable to me. And a little bit of warpage. You might need to heat that up. And it's not too sharp or anything. And I like the sculpted details that we get right here. And he holds them fairly well. You can just put this right into his hand like so, and he'll hold it like that. If you want it backwards, it's going to get in the way, so you want this kind of moving forward like that, so that little piece is by the finger, and just have that closed like so. I had this open because if you wanted him to hold this in like a stabbing downward motion, you do have to move this panel out of the way. So yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Or if you want to, you could actually tab these into the sides of his legs right over here, which kind of looks weird. Where are you going, Mamacita? They don't call me Berserker for nothing. So how can you not love this head sculpt? And look at the paint on there too. This is magnificent. I am very pleased with what Hasbro has done with this. Each of those tiny little red eyes, that's very precise paint work right there. And I really like seeing the silver right there on the face as well. Silver over gray doesn't look too bad, you know? I think that looks really cool though. I'm very pleased with this. And all the sculpting details for these dreads. These like clips right over here as dreads, so that's pretty sweet. Just looking at the back of his head right there. Not too shabby at all. I really like that. And I like the design of this character too. I like how he has these shoulder spikes right over here. We get this nice gunmetal plastic that I really dig. And then we have this big X right over there for, I don't know. I have no idea. I got nothing. And then we have some nice red paint on the side. Looking very good, or on his forearms anyway. I like how it kind of fades right over there. That's pretty neat. And he has orange fingers. Okay, so I don't know why he has orange fingers, but he does have orange fingers. And then he has 2 thumbs too, so he has these weird hands. 2 thumbs, 3 fingers. Alrighty. Then there's the crutch, and then we get more of that gunmetal plastic right over there for this part of the knees. Then we get a little bit more red paint over black. And then he has these kind of like Velociraptor type legs right there. And I like how the feet are painted, you know, the toes are painted very nicely. You know, I love them toes, right? And then we get the little heels right there on the back. Looking pretty good. And it's supposed to flop downward. And then, you know, this back piece is a little backpacky, but not too bad. Now, going over to the articulation, you can move his head upward that much, and you can move the head downward that far, but you also get a neck joint in there, so you can move the neck downward that far too. So that's pretty cool. You also get side-to-side movement, kind of spins around like that, and you can kind of getting it pivoting away from the body a little bit, so it can move like this and tilt this way, of course. You get shoulder joints due to the transformation. You can move the arms all the way up like that, so you get that movement. You can move the arms outward, and you can move them down and all the way around. You get a bicep swivel right here. You get a jointed elbow right there that goes at 90 degrees. I almost said knee, but I didn't. And then there's no real wrist articulation. You can just move this up and down due to transformation. No torso articulation, and there goes his head. His head just falls off a lot. And then his hip joints allow his legs to move outward that far, and he can kick forward that much and back a little bit. I guess you could move this out of the way some if you wanted more backward movement right there. He also has a swivel in the mid-thigh area, and then he has a single jointed knee. Then he has this joint right here that moves up and down, and then that's it. Oh, well, you can count the heel right over here. Now, measuring out the height of this deluxe class figure, you can see Berserker standing up to those spikes at about 6 inches tall. And to compare Berserker to an Age of Extinction deluxe class figure, we have Crosshairs. And then here's Berserker next to our Transformers The Last Night Bumblebee, and you can see they're more or less about the same size. I mean, Berserker's definitely taller. And then to compare Berserker to your average 6-inch scale action figure, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time No Letdown Spider-Man. And there's Berserker again, but holding one of his weapons in the downward stabbing motion right there. And I really do like this figure, man. I think it's really fun to pose around. The legs do get a little on the wobbly side, and I have my little gripes here and there, especially with the alt mode. But for the most part, I really do like this deluxe class figure quite a bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit the like button. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the figure. Let me know what you think of the review. If you want to see more Shartimus Prime videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know immediately when the latest Shartimus Prime video is posted. And I gotta give a big thanks to Eddie for helping make this review possible. Your extra support for this YouTube channel is very much appreciated. And if you're interested in the bonus content and the prizes that I give away to my patrons, please check out the link in the description below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
We're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face. I said we're shot